Good morning, everybody. It is the last day of 2017, the 31st of December, a few hours away from starting a brand new year. Um, Today, I wanted to talk to you about the different methods of purchasing your hash power from Hashflare, but in particular, focus on the wire transfer, purely because that's my last method of payment for some hash power. So before I go there, just a quick update on how I'm getting on. Again, as you can see from I think it was my first ever video, there hasn't been much progress in terms of the hash rate itself, but as you can see, I'm gradually building up my Bitcoin. As you can see from a couple of days ago, it's gone up slightly. So I think when I first put the video together on the 28th, it was not, as you can see, my payout was 0.0133, 0.00133 even. It's gradually increased over the past couple of days, which is great. Can't argue with that really. But again, due to the price of Bitcoin, as you can see down here, due to the price of Bitcoin right now being gone down slightly, my overall kind of revenue forecast for the week, the month, the year even has come down from the 7,000 mark. It's fluctuating around the 7,000 mark anyway. I'm not too concerned about that really. Um, as I mentioned in my previous video, you will have seen that I've actually been through obviously buying contracts and stuff and being unsuccessful and all that kind of stuff. I've taught you through all those bits there. Um, my latest one, as I mentioned in my last video, was a wire transfer that I carried out. Now, to do a wire transfer, let's just give you an example. I'm not going to purchase anything here just yet, but let's just give you an example of what it's like. So, 2K is what I go for here. 1 terahash. Let's have a look. So, click on proceed, then select payment method, pay with wire transfer. Once you pay with the wire transfer, you'll get an email telling you that the order is pending, and you'll get something like this. So again, thank you for your order. It'll give you your invoice number there. You receive the invoice as well, and then you basically read through the email. It's basically what's in the FAQs really, and just make sure that you follow the relevant information. As you can see, they prefer euro payments over USD, purely because they're a European. They have a European bank. It's just quicker for them to process the payment. So I've been through all this. I've completed it. I even made sure that the payment description was as mentioned there, with obviously my invoice number in there as well. I made sure, due to obviously them wanting in euros, I followed the exchange rate for my $2,640, which came to about 2,221 euros. I made sure I put the IBAN code in and everything. This was all done on, let me just have a quick look on here. When did I actually order it? I ordered it on the 21st, whilst I was actually in Morocco. And I got back on the 22nd or the 23rd. I think it was the 22nd I got back. Excuse me, guys, I'm still fighting off this cold that I've got. Got back on the 22nd, and on that evening, I think I set up the payment with my bank. Again, went through everything. It's an international payment, so again, if you're based in the UK, depending on what bank you've got, you'll probably have to pay an extra fee for the international payment itself. Again, the fee is tiered. If you want if you want the payment to go through quicker, you pay an extra premium. I think you pay £25. £25, I think it is. Yeah, £25 GBP. And if you want their standard payment, it's £15 fee over and above the actual amount that you're investing, or the amount you're transferring. Sorry. So I did this on the 22nd. It is now obviously the 31st, so it's been well over a week, and I still haven't had anything back off Hashflare. So I decided to contact them myself and see what had happened. So I spoke to a gentleman called Matt at Hashflare, and he asked me to provide him some details. I'm not going to show you the emails and stuff here. I mean, I've got them all in my Bitcoin folder. I'm not going to show you the details because there's some obviously personal information in there as well. So I emailed him and asked him, and they came back to me, and Matt came back to me and said, "Oh, please provide evidence of the payment going through, including the invoice number, their account details, etc." So provide all that to him in an email, and also downloaded my online statement. One thing that I'd found was that although I set up the payment for the 22nd/23rd, with Christmas and everything as well, there's obviously going to be a slight delay. So the payment actually went through. I spoke to my bank and the payment went through on the 28th. Um, and I asked my bank when they would receive, when Hashflare would receive that payment in their account. And he said if the payment goes through, well, the payment's going through on the 28th, by close of play on that day, they will have received my money. So I sent this, I noted this down in an email, along with my bank statement showing the transaction going through, which is what Hashflare wanted. I provided this to them, and Matt from Hashflare came back to me and said, "Oh, thank you for this information. Once the payment goes through, we'll process your order." So obviously, being told by my bank that the payment has gone through on the 28th, which it did, I saw it and showing the transaction, I expected them to process my order by the 20th or 29th. It is now the 31st and I still haven't had anything. I looked online, a couple of people have said that they do have some delay. My concern was that once you put this order together, um, they only give you a window of 7 days. Now, obviously, this has been 10 days now before they time it out or cancel it. I did plead with Matt via email. Plead being a strong word, really. I requested that they don't cancel my order. So I'm hoping that is because that's why they've left it as pending. But again, it's quite poor, really, on their part that they haven't actually provided me with any further update. Now, I appreciate that they will have thousands of requests and emails, but from seeing an email from seeing a YouTube video by a guy called Jay Crypto. He did an interview with I think it was Jay Crypto anyway. I did an interview with one of the senior people at Hashflare who said they were investing in more staff, more resource to actually get through the whole kind of the long list of tickets that are outstanding. So I'm slightly disappointed, really, purely because this was my first ever wire transfer, and I thought it did have some more kind of interaction between their banking payment and also the way they kind of process their orders and stuff. Clearly not, and it's a bit of a disappointment in that sense, because I'm currently losing out on kind of the extra hash power now, which I was hoping to take advantage of now rather than later on in the year when potentially the network fee increases again, and that kind of thing. So again, it's a wait and see what happens, see how we do, and yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Not much else to say. Just have a quick look at how how my payments have been coming through. As you can see, been getting 0.013, 0.013, 0.013, and then it's gone up slightly, and then gone up slightly again. With that, obviously, the pool fees, the maintenance fees, gone up very slightly. Not too concerned about that, really, because, like I said, I mean, my aim with mining is to actually just hold the Bitcoin that I'm getting. But again, I want to double this so that I can actually by the end of well, this time next year, I actually have at least one Bitcoin in there. But my whole point of actually pushing this forward now, in terms of my last payment, is because not only do I want this process now, because it's taken a few days, but I also want to buy further Bitcoin, further hash power. But I don't want to do that until this has gone through. And I've noticed in here that I can actually, if I just do that for a second, just show you. Previously, you will have seen. Excuse me. Oh, they've taken it off again now. Previously, let me just try again on that. Maybe because I've just chosen a smaller amount. I'll just put it to there. Proceed. Select payment method. Oh, okay. Very briefly, over the last day or two, they actually had pay with credit card, and they had Universe Pay here as well. They still had the Universe Pay option, which again I mentioned in my previous video. When I contacted Matt, he said they were bringing that back in January. They brought it back slightly earlier. Maybe they were testing it. I'm not too sure. But again, if what Matt said is true, and they are putting that option back again, then that'd be fantastic for us UK card holders, because we can't actually use Connectum, so we have to either go through we'd have to go through paying by wire transfer or paying with Bitcoin. I'd rather pay with credit card, because although obviously there's a hold on my account for 14 days, it's a bit surer, and we get that extra kind of cover in the UK. So again, I want this to go through. I want this order of mine to go through so that I can then have a look. And once Universe Pay comes back on again, I can actually have a look at purchasing even more hash power. But yeah, I mean, as it stands, this is where we are. Slightly disappointed that they haven't actually yet processed my order quicker. But let's just see. Let's just see how things go. I'll have a look. If I still don't hear anything back by the end of the week or in the next few days, I'll contact them again. I was at a point where I was contemplating contacting them every single day by email, but there's just no point. I've set up another ticket just to see what's going on, and I'll just wait now and see what they say. I mean, they are responding to their emails and stuff, so it's just taking time, and I appreciate that. Obviously, they're probably going to have a lot of queries, especially over the past couple of months. But we'll see how we get on. Again, like I said, very short video. I'd be really grateful if you could like, subscribe, and if you haven't looked at Hashflare before, they are great. I mean, as I said, I've managed to purchase 10 terahashes, and I am making Bitcoin. That's my current balance right now. I can't withdraw that just yet because the minimum amount is 0.05. I'll get to that in just over a month's time, so a month and a bit really. So yeah. Just if you want, I'll leave a link below the video, and you can actually have a look and see what you think. And if you purchase, fantastic. If not, all the best to you. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye bye.